on their bad side and they'll destroy you.
No one would miss me.
That's not true. I would.
There we go. You can hear me now. Hello, good evening, all of the things, all of the things, all of the things. Oh boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. Good evening, everybody. My name is Mackenzie. I just had to take a second. I don't normally do these kind of things, but I just had to talk about what I saw today because, what? Couple different things popping up for me, and I just had to discuss because what? Okay, so first of all, let me switch to a bigger screen so I can get things set up over here. So today was State of Play, and PlayStation sort of like, you know, um, runs through everything that's coming out in the next year and all the things, and kind of talks about projects that are either long awaited or on the way. And I was excited because Final Fantasy VII remake it was last February. Last February? Yeah. Wow. COVID really knocked it out. Anyway, so that happened today, and I'm turning into a Final Fantasy channel. I'm realizing just a JRPG channel, and I fucking love it because I love them. But I was so excited. I was shrieking in my bathroom, like, what? Um, Trying to focus on what I was seeing for today. Um, so, first of all, I'm going to hit some highlights of the other things that I saw because I brought a list that it doesn't have to do with Final Fantasy first, just to kind of go over what I thought of the overall experience and the games that are rolling out, and then we'll address the beautiful elephant in the room when I get a little bit further down. So, anyway, here's the thing. So I started out because I missed the first, I think, I possibly missed the first game. The first one I saw was Sifu. It was just like a fun fighter game or whatever. Um, let me do this. There we go. And it's fine. There's nothing like particularly wrong with it. It's something that I might play in my downtime, and I like the animation and the art style. It looked fine. And then the next one was Solar Ash, which seemed really indie. And that's fine. Indie's fine. But like it doesn't seem like something I would play. I played Faye, which was the little fox game or whatever that came out a couple years ago, and it's beautiful. But I think my attention span is too like all over the place to sit there and really devote time to it. So it has to be like I'm gonna relax kind of game. And so it's fine, but it wasn't like crazy. Then they had the Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm personally excited for it. I actually did a reading for something in that game. Um, and it's parts of it are still in development. I don't know if I got that part yet or not. They haven't reviewed it. So I auditioned for something in that game. Which is fun. But anyway, I think it's I'm not gonna talk about it because I can't. But I did audition for something in that. And then so that was fun to see, and obviously Five Nights at Freddy's is like a cult classic, so who wouldn't love Five Nights at Freddy's anyway? That's always fun. Um, their weird rock outfits. Did you guys see that? That was kind of fascinating. Anyway, it was very interesting. Then after that was Oddworld, which looked cute as hell. I'm personally not into that kind of thing, just because it's like I don't know. I once again I have to be attached to characters and world building and all the things, and it might be something that I would look into, but I don't like off the top of my head have any sort of innate desire. It's not something I would typically play. I'm gonna tilt my camera because we're having issues today. Hi Shadow. Hope you're having a good night. Um, I'm just mad discussing state of play here because I have so many thoughts. Let me situate this here. All right, and then we had is it Kina or Kenna? Cute as fuck. I wanted to play that game immediately. I was like, oh my god, the little girl with the I don't know if it's a wand or a spear that is magical, a staff, but it's cute, and I was like 110% on board with the animation and the storyboard style and all of that. It looked divine, right? What? No! Is that better? Oh no, I've been rambling for no reason! I'm so sorry! Well, that was fun. Just scratch everything I just talked about for the past, what, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. Oh my god, I'm a dumbass. Thank you! Jeez Louise. I was distracted because right before I started, hail just dropped on the house, and I'm sure my car is a mess. I haven't gone out and looked at it yet. So I was very distracted, and I was like, okay, it's time to stream. But I'm good now. Anyway, in short, we're just gonna zip through everything that we saw today on State of Play, so that I can get to the gigantic elephant in the room that I'm really excited about, and then go from there. So, in short, we're just gonna speed run what I wrote down here. Sifu looks like a fun fighter game. Love the animation style. Probably won't play it, but might play it. Solar Ash, not for me. Cute, indie, not for me. They did have a State of Play today. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. I think I'm turning into a Final Fantasy and JRPG blog or channel, and I'm totally fine with that because I love all of them and am excited for each and every one that comes out. So that's what we're getting to. We're getting to the announcement that they had today from Square, but we're not getting there yet. So, Five Nights at Freddy's. That was another announcement. I actually auditioned for something in that game. Still don't know if I got it because they haven't gotten back to me. But they were trying to add something to the game, and I got that audition the other day, so who knows? I might be in that game. Oddworld is another one that came out. I think it's a sequel, because I didn't play the first one. But anyway, it looks really cute. But once again, not particularly for me. I'll probably play it at some point, but it's not something I would stream. Then they did Kina, or Kenna, which is like the girl with the staff, the magical staff. Looked adorable. I'm 110% on board with that. It's probably going to happen. That seemed to get the most hype today anyway, which was interesting. Because I didn't know anything about it. Everybody's like, oh my god, they're adding more. And I just must have missed the last announcement for it because I had no idea it was a thing. But it looks cute, and the protagonist is this adorable little female character that is trying to look for a spirit, a guardian spirit or something. Jack and Dex, none of those were mentioned that I saw today at all. They mentioned Deathloops, which is a shooter. I've seen that advertised. Looks fine. I'll probably play it. And then they did the thing. I figured out how to... Thank you, I just got your message. Check your mic! I told you, I'm a dumbass. I just figured out today how to fix my display so that I can actually show you guys what I'm talking about in the moment. So I'm going to do that while I'm chatting, and hopefully it works here. I won't play the audio because apparently there are copyright issues and things. But, yeah. So, they did add some content for good old FF7R today. And, it's interesting. So they play through all of the things that we've already seen, which is nice. It's fine. It's dandy. And then they introduce a specific character that most people thought we were going to have to wait until the next game for. So apparently, that's fun. I am excited for this part of it. This is the part I'm excited about. It's not what I expected them to announce. But it is interesting. Let me see if I can give you some audio at least.
My name is Yuffie, Materia Hunter and Elite Special Forces operative for the new Wutai government. We'll prove to our common enemy that Wutai is not to be trifled with. Members of Avalanche, we got this.
I'm back.
Ah, there you are. Someone's been expecting you.
What took you?
Sorry about that. Anyway, it's nice to meet you. I'm Sonon Kusakabe.
Where's Clown?
We lost him.
You what?
He will be okay though, right?
Well, of course he will.
They're the ones who blew up the reactors.
Cool. Should we say hi?
No, better not. After what they've done, you gotta assume Shinra's on their tail.
Look, a Moogle!
Stop!
We gotta help.
No freaking way!
Boss!
Get wrecked!
You guys should probably get moving.
Got it.
Whatever it is they're planning, you're better off out of it.
They deserve what's coming to them.
Yeah, they do, but I'm not your sister.
There you are.
Who are these jerks?
No clue. It just appeared.
Now, let the hunt begin.
Well, 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 well. Interesting stuff, right? Interesting stuff. So, I'm excited for this portion. I was literally like, I was doing my makeup because I had stuff to do today, and I was doing my makeup when this dropped. And I literally was like, what? It's like, give me the details. I need all of the details. When is this coming out? I need it immediately. I did not expect to see Yuffie. I was like, what? And even, like, she's annoying, okay? Like, Yuffie's annoying in the original game, and she's annoying in Advent Children. And then I saw this, and I was like, Yuffie! So excited. Because she's just a part of the integral fabric of FF7. She's not supposed to be in Midgar yet. So that's interesting. I have no idea who her companions are, but I have a thought about that. So I was pondering today because I was like, who's this guy that looks like the Zack model if they stretched him out and made him old? And I think back in the day, like I was doing some reading, obviously, because I read all about this stuff. And I totally agree. Yes, this is totally going to be the best portrayal of her by far. I'm with you. Isn't it Mae Whitman? I'm pretty sure it's Mae Whitman who is Katara. I'll have to read about it, but I'm pretty sure it was her. Anyway, much better than before. In Remake, right, as you're going through and you're seeing all the stamp images and stuff, Barrett mentions that there's another group of Avalanche that sort of like is guiding them along, and we see the other cell of Avalanche show up with Wedge in the very beginning, right? Which is interesting. But then you've also got a conversation with Barrett if you don't do enough actions with Tifa or Aerith during the game, and you're about to go and infiltrate the Shinra building, right? So when you get to that point in the game, Barrett starts talking about how he is sad for the people that he's lost, and for the end he just like basically is doing a cheers to the other members of Avalanche. And one of the people that he talks about, he says looks a lot like she could be Tifa's sister, which in this, let me see if I can find her. There's a girl that's in Avalanche near the beginning of the trailer that I think they may be talking about. I think they might actually be featuring her. Hi, UV. She is the girl with the spectacles. She's somewhere in here. Let's mute you again, dear. But she, I think, is who they're probably talking about. We've got this girl, right? This chick here. She's a member of Avalanche. They're undercover. And basically what Barrett says is, like, she looks like Tifa, but she looks like she could be her sister. I think it might be this chick. They're clearly Avalanche. They've got the poster in the background. They've got a battle plan. They're an underground cell in Midgar, and somehow Yuffie ends up with them, which is new storyline. There's no prior anything to suggest that Yuffie was there at this time that I'm aware of. So all of this is fascinating and new. And then he does talk about another guy, which I'm assuming is this newcomer that... Okay, let's be real. Let's be real about this dude. Does he not look a little bit... Stop so I can pause you. There we go. Does he not look a little bit like if they took the Zack model from Remake, made him look older, gave him shorter, browner hair, and just stretched him out a little bit without the Mako eyes? Because that's how I feel. I don't know who this person is. He's not been in any of the other games. He appears to have some form of combat ability. Yeah, he looks like the love child of Angeal Zack. I have no idea who this dude is. But apparently he's going to be somebody that you get to include in your party. I do like about this trailer that they address, oh, Cloud's gone, because I thought it was a huge jump, even though it was a nod to the original, for them to be like, oh, by the way, Cloud's he fell, he might be dead, but like, Tifa's going to go get dressed now. I was like, what the fuck is happening? So I'm glad to see that they're addressing that, which is nice. Gonna fill some plot holes there. Yuffie being in the story at this point, I don't know. She's looking for materia. That's what it says on the little page, right? She's looking for materia. Where is she? There she is. As she always is, right? That's her MO. That's what Yuffie does. But she's also, like, in Midgard doing it, right? And this is the time you gotta, like, think, right? At this time, they just finished a war with Wutai. So why is she in town? Does she think she's infiltrating? Is she acting as a spy? Is she being undercover to try to like get one over on Shinra and to honor her people like she was in Crisis Core, being like, I'm gonna get you? What's that about? Why is she in Midgar, and why is she after Shinra specifically? This outfit, by the way, is a nod to Dirge of Cerberus, which is interesting. The Moogle outfit that she's got going on here, first of all, is really adorable. But secondly is a Dirge of Cerberus nod, which is fascinating. I didn't realize they were going to care that much about Dirge, because everybody hated it. But apparently they're going to care a lot about Dirge, and I guess I have to play it now. So, that's fun. Like I wasn't going to play it anyway. Every game that they cough up about FF7, I'm going to end up playing. We all know that. If they remade Dirge, I would still play it. But I'm going to play the old terrible one and suffer, because that's what I'm good at. So, yes, so many thoughts about this. And then you've got, so let me scoot forward a little bit more, right? Another cool thing about this is we have, it's somewhere around here. I don't know who the blonde guy is either, but I think he's also mentioned by Barrett at some point as being a member of Avalanche that he's familiar with. So apparently this is a sect of Avalanche that doesn't want to get too cozy with Tifa's sect of Avalanche or Barrett's sect of Avalanche because they don't want to get in trouble. So that's interesting. It's somewhere around here. There's a move. Is it this one here? I think it's this one here. It's gonna be hard to... Yeah, this one. That's interesting because of the co-op, right? Like that's a combined move with two characters. That's something that we really haven't had that much of except in cutscenes. So is there gonna now be an option where you can do combos between characters? That's kind of fun. That's something like that. So cool. So cool. I would totally be on board for that. I do think it's interesting. They're like, we're gonna build a whole side story about Yuffie, but we're not gonna make Red 13 a playable character because he's in the last 30 to 45 minutes of the game. Whatever. That's just a secondary gripe. I think they're just like, ugh, animal mechanics suck. I don't want to do that. But anyway, so that's neat. And then you've got this little ditty at the end here, right? With these characters, which I'm gonna say are probably the deep... Is it the Deep Ground? Is that what they're called? There's a sect in Dirge, once again, that are like ex-soldiers or soldiers, like a branch of that department. And so I think they're doing a nod to that too, which is interesting. It was once again a Hojo project. Everybody hates him, but he's got his fingers in all pies. And then you've got this, whoa, stellar individual here, who is, I believe is it Weiss? I never know how to pronounce it because I haven't played the game yet. Weiss, W-E-I-S-S. From Dirge, once again. He's the antagonist in Dirge. So yeah. Making a quadruped work in a fighting game can be finicky. Exactly what I was thinking. They're just not going to invest in that much technology. Apparently, yeah, with Hojo, who knows? I don't know. But with this character, what I think is interesting, right, is that, what I didn't know until I started reading about him today, is that he is not only a product of Hojo's experimentation and everything, but do you guys, well, you guys weren't here. I played Crisis Core probably, oh gosh, 6 months ago. And it wasn't my first time to play it, but it was my first time to play it in like 10 years. So I was like, I gotta revisit this because it's gonna make me sad. And I did, and I was very sad. But there's a part, like the German word for white. Oh, yeah, it probably is. It probably is. That's a good call. Vice. Anyway. Weast? Weast. In Crisis Core, right, you get to the end, Genesis has been this annoying asshole the entire time, spouting prose and poetry and all of the things, right? He's just annoying and he's doing his thing. You get to the end, he kind of dies, but he kind of doesn't, and Zack's like, I'm sorry, you gotta die, this is sad, and then he assumes he's dead and he leaves, right, with Cloud, because he gets word that it's been 4 years since he and Aerith have seen each other, and he's been in a tube, and he's gotta go back, because he's like, oh no, this is her last letter to me, and I gotta go. So he leaves, but when he leaves, Genesis doesn't join the live stream, he just sits there, right? And then a helicopter shows up, and these voices of unidentified people basically talk about how we're gonna make him our brother. And they pick up his body and they take him with them, and it's never specified whether Genesis lives or dies after that point. What I learned today was, apparently, this guy and his brother, his younger brother, are a part of this underground soldier operation, and they picked him up and are like, because they're a part of his weird cell experiment. They were experimented on with his cells as part of that specific side of the project. So they consider him kind of like this weird brother thing. And they wanted Genesis to join them, and he was like, no. And apparently he's just like somewhere in a cavern under Midgar. I'm assuming he probably went back to the place where the goddess was like, you're out, and dipped him, but I don't know. He's just somewhere. Genesis is just somewhere. So I think they're trying to do a whole overarching thing of tying all of the little pieces together, of all of the little things that they've already done, to make sure that all of their bases are covered and everything is nodded to. And I love that, honestly. I'm 110% about it. I don't care if it's fan service because I love the franchise. So I say the next part with love in my heart and with a understanding that I I will play every single one of the games that they announced today. Excuse me. That being said, they then announced Ever Crisis, which I've been looking forward to, and First Soldier, which I've been looking forward to. And they're both mobile games. They're both mobile games. So they've been saying that this is going to be a tie-in. Don't worry, it'll be a tie-in. It'll be fine. And it's a mobile game! I'm so upset. He was in Deep Ground? Yes, exactly. Exactly what I was trying to say. Thank you. Yes, he was in Deep Ground as a soldier under Hojo, basically, instead of through the soldier branch of the company. Because that was through Lazard, who is director of Soldier, blah, 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 blah. They did me dirty with mobile games. I know that I can emulate mobile games on a PC. I don't care. That's not what I was signing up for. I thought we're going to get some DLC. It's going to be Ever Crisis. We're going to get some spin-off game that's downloadable through the PlayStation Store. But we get 2 mobile games. Now, granted, I'm going to play them both. I'm going to play them. First Soldier is about the time when Rufus is starting up power in the company, and he is creating the Soldier Project, basically. It's about the heyday when all of these soldiers were out there doing their thing together as a unit. There weren't 3 of them, or whatever. 4 of them, counting Zach. There's a bunch of different soldiers at once before they sort of got culled eventually, or just degraded, probably. So it's a battle royale with a bunch of soldiers, and you get to rise to the top and see if you get to be a hero, which I'm gonna play because I love Zack and I'm a sucker, okay? But I think it also, based on some things I was reading, is gonna sort of like nod towards the early days of the company, how the president got there, some of Sephiroth's origins, so they're gonna make you play it to get that information, and I'm gonna play it like a rube. And then they did Ever Crisis. And Ever Crisis I'm actually kind of interested in. Because apparently Ever Crisis is a tie-in of everything. And we're talking OG, Before Crisis, Crisis Core, Dirge of Cerberus, remake, and I want to say there was something else even. But literally anything that you can... Advent Children. Literally anything you can think of is included in this. And what it basically is a chapter-based story game for mobile to let people know that have never been in the franchise before and want to give it a shot. Like, sure, this is how you do it. This is everything we have come up with so far, so that you're caught up for when part 2 comes out. But I'm sure the timeline's on the web somewhere. I think it's probably on here somewhere. I'll have to do some digging. But my thought is on this, right? It's going to be interesting and cute. I'm going to play it. They're little chibi people and the art looks adorable. Like a spider web? Yeah, I think it probably has to. I'll peruse while we're talking here. Let's see a FF7 comp timeline. Let's see if there's anything juicy about that. But, all that to say, right? They're basically making it so that you buy one game so you don't have to buy all the things, which I do appreciate. Because I don't like... They kind of did that with 15, where it was like, I'm going to do, like, the game, and then I'm going to do, like, DLC, and I'm going to do all the DLC, but you have to buy the DLC, and then I'm going to do a movie, but you have to buy the movie, and then I'm going to give you a book, and you're going to have to read the book, and then you'll get the story, which is excessive. With this, I feel like this is going to be a one-stop shop to be able to do that. Let's take a look at this. This looks decent enough, right? Where'd it go? Grandmama. Oh, excuse me. I run let me just download it. How does that sound? Anyway, let's see. There we go. I can't do 2 things at once. I cannot. I can't. Can't do it. Hard to keep track. Yeah, I'm getting there. Don't you worry. Don't you worry about a thing. I could have just opened it in a new tab, but I don't multitask. I don't do it. Here we go. Bum ba ba. Doot. Let's make this sucker large. So, yes. you've got OG. Then you've got International. Then you've got Before Crisis. And Before Crisis is something that is necessary, but nobody got to play. Because it was a Japan... Yeah, I love Zach. I told you, man. I told you, Zach is the best! Anyway. Before Crisis is important, but nobody got to play it because it was a Japan-only mobile game when mobile games didn't even exist. So you literally had to do the to do anything on it, and it was terrible. But I watched it, and it's good to know. No, I don't simp Zach. I just resonate with the poor boy, and I want him to live. I just want him to be okay. He is in Before Crisis because it kind of shows some in-between missions, right? So it's important because you need to know that Zach fought and killed members of Avalanche, which people don't know, but he did. But granted, those members of Avalanche had kidnapped and tortured both members of Soldier and Turks that weren't even doing anything to them. They just were in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they tortured 2 Soldier members to death. So Zach went in to go get them, and in order to break them out, he had to crack some eggs, basically. But yeah, Zach killed Avalanche, for sure, because he worked for Soldier. He was working for Shinra. That's in Before Crisis, and it's mostly about the Turks. So you get to see, like, Reno and Rude in the early days, and you get to see things more about Cisne, whose codename is Shotgun in that game, and where Sung came from and some of his early origins and how Sung became director. So it's important. Zach did nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong. Some characters that I love are problematic. He's not. He's just not problematic. He's just not. And I'm okay admitting he's not. Oh, anyway. Then you've got Advent Children, right? Advent Children rolled out. People were like, boo, I wanted a remake. But they were also excited just to see their characters in anything but cubes and pixels. That's where I came in, watched Advent Children, had no idea, you know the story. Then we had Dirge of Cerberus. I remember it being announced. I was like, I don't know who this vampire is, and I don't care. I thought he was too emo for me. I think I probably watched clips of it, but I couldn't tell you what it's about, other than it's after Advent Children, and people hate it. So, there you go. And then you had Crisis Core, which is the best. The best. Crisis Core put the bow on the present. The bow. It was the precursor, the good old prequel to all of the people you know and love. And they did it in such a loving and caring way that even though the encounter rate is ridiculous, and it was only on the PSP, it is still beloved by people to this day and is also considered one of the most devastating video game deaths of all time. Anyway, even though you know it's coming, even though I didn't, even though most people know it's coming, it's still devastating. And I've watched countless reactions where grown men weep and cry. And I love it because it's deserved. It's sad. Then you've got Final Fantasy Advent Children Complete, where they went, we know our movie made no sense and it's really bad. I'm sorry. Let me make it a cohesive movie that actually makes sense as to what I was trying to do with these Laz, Kadaj, and Yazoo characters. Oddly enough, PSP had few games from different series that are important for plot and gameplay, like Peace Walker for MGS. Yeah, it was like they really wanted it to succeed, so they really risked their biscuit on a lot of big-name titles, and that's fine, but it also means that, you know, you have to buy a PSP, and nobody did, and this is in the era when YouTube was rolling out, so people just went on YouTube and watched it instead, and they lost money and it died. But it was a great thought. And I think they're taking the same energy that they put into things like Crisis Core and applying it to their mobile games now. So I'll give it that. They are putting actual effort into it, and it's not just going to be like, I'm farming for gold. Oh, excuse me, Gil. You know, they're actually going to be doing things. Yeah, PSP did make some money, you're right. The Vita did tank, correct. It was not... I had a PSP, I did not spring for the Vita, because why would you? Oh, you can play games and go online? You could barely go online on it anyway, so it made no sense. And it was smaller and faster. It was not. I worked for GameStop when it was coming out, and we were like, oh, how are we going to get rid of these? How are we going to do it? Ooh. And then you've got Remake. And good old Remake was fantastic. So here we are. Here's a downer for the Yuffie thing. Only available for PS5. You're not going to be able to play Yuffie's chapter if you have a PS4. I think that is a miscalculation on their part, because nobody can get a PS5 right now. I have one through an act of God. I have one. Most people don't. They did not announce it coming to PC. That I'm aware of, just said that it was getting a PS5, basically up-tuning. You can only play Yuffie's chapter on 5. I know. Yep. Only play it on 5. And you will get a free upgrade. So if eventually you get a 5 and you want to upgrade your graphics, it'll be free. They're not going to charge you for that, which is nice. But even so, most people can't afford a PS5 or find a PS5 right now. So that's fun. I'm going to take us to Twitter now. I'm sorry I'm rambling, but this is what this is for. So we're going to do this until you're bored or I'm bored. How does that sound? So we're going to go to Twitter briefly because there's a account on here, and most of you that like FF7 probably follow the account. But there is an account. Where's my care? There we go. It has me logged into my professional account. I don't want that. I want my dumb account. There is... Who is she? What is her name? Where is she? It's somewhere. There she is. Audrey. Let's see. I think it's Itakimochi is the username on here. So let's go to her page real quick. Real quick. There you go. There's Zach again. Boop. And then we have some stuff, right? So she live tweets as she goes, and she's great for translation. So if you want like instant access to what's going on in Japan with all of these things, she's a fantastic Twitter account to follow. But anyway, so she is doing. Oh, it looks like she's translating right now, actually. Oh, that's awesome. Anyway. So she does things like this. Intergrade. The word intergrade has the meaning of being a middle, which serves as a midway point from remake and the next installment. It also means to move, which is a nod to moving to the next system. So she's great. Look at all of her shit. I was reading a lot of her stuff today. FF7, this is new. Sorry, I'm just... breaking news! I will definitely post a link in the chat. Breaking news! Ever Crisis with Before Crisis Turks, playable Turks, detailed character designs for battle parts. I hope that's true because I want to play as Rena and Root. That would be a lot of fun. Anyway, there's the Twitter account. Feel free to peruse. She's fantastic. And like this, she does translations. So this is the interview about Ever Crisis and what it's going to be like. Basically saying that they're going to add new chapters every month. We do get to see my boy. At the end of the Ever Crisis trailer, they've got little chibi Zack on the train. It is the only thing about Zack that they posted today. I was a little bit sad, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers. It's alright. But, yes. This was something that I saw just before hopping on. They're adding new story parts to Ever Crisis about the heroic soldier's youth, which we're taking to mean Sephiroth. And I think it's probably Sephiroth. So a lot of shit dumped today. Read all of it in her feed because it's so much to wade through. But I am both excited and not excited. I told 2 people today, so you're going to get the same spiel, right? What Square likes to do, because I'm not happy about this, but it's just what they like to do, is go, we heard you like cheesecake. You're at a restaurant, right? Square's the restaurant. They're like, we heard you like cheesecake. We're going to make you your own personal cheesecake. It's the best cheesecake in the world, and it's all yours. And we're going to make it for you because we know you love it. And you go, fuck yeah, I love cheesecake. I'm so excited to eat cheesecake. Oh my God, cheesecake. And you wait patiently because you're like, I know it's going to take time, but I'm going to wait. And you see the waiter, and the waiter comes up to you, and you're like, here we go, it's cheesecake time. And he goes, here's an order of asparagus on the house. And you're like, well, that's nice, but where's my cheesecake? And they're like, oh, it's coming, don't you worry. We just thought you looked a little peckish, so we're gonna, you know, here's something in the meantime. And then they'll give you broccoli and then Brussels sprouts, and then on and on it goes until finally you're like, okay, look, like, am I going to get it or not? I'm going to leave this restaurant. And then they go, well, wait. Here's your cheesecake. But you're so fucking full from everything else that they gave you that you can't enjoy the cheesecake like you would in the moment. So you just angrily take your cheesecake home and eat it the next day. And sure, is it just as good as it would have been? Yes. But the experience is terrible. The atmosphere is terrible. And they did this with Kingdom Hearts. And they did it a little bit with Nier Automata. I think they're nicer about it. But they do this every time. Square is like, here's our magical cheesecake of crack that is Final Fantasy VII. Here are all of the things that you want from it. We're going to do none of it, but sprinkle the things that you want throughout a nice little timeline until we finally, when you're in your 40s, give you what you want and asked for. Oh. Well, gotta think about it. They did starve FF7 fans for years before remake, but that's exactly what I'm saying. Square is great at starving their fans, and that's the thing about it to me, is that I'm willing to stick around, and a lot of people are willing to stick around, and they know it. So they give us these little half projects until they get to the main project to placate us. I understand it. I will play every single thing they announced today happily. I'll probably stream the Yuffie thing the second it comes out because I am so excited about it. But that being said, at the same time, 2 mobile games. Mobile games! I didn't want a mobile game. I want to know why Zack is back. I want to know why Sephiroth is controlling the timeline. I want to know a timeline for when the fuck to expect FF7 Part 2. And another thing, Nomura left the project. That was announced today. He's leaving the project and it's going to somebody else because he has too much on his plate and he's doing too many projects. So he's not helming the second part. I don't know whether to be happy about that or not. We'll see. They're starting with Octopath. It made money on Switch. Then they said we'll make a sequel, but it'll be on mobile and Japanese only. Ah! Don't tell me that. We're about to play. I'm going to have to suffer more, aren't I? I'm so excited to get started on that, by the way. Octopath seems like it's going to be a blast. I just read sort of like the vague overview, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be fun. So thank you for suggesting that. I am excited. All that to say, 45 minutes into this rant, it looks good. Yuffie looks amazing. She sounds amazing. I have a feeling I'll actually like the people that she's doing things with, even though they're new characters. I'm always open to new characters. They look nice. I just don't know why I can't have the cheesecake. I just am asking for the cheesecake. You know, that's the thing about Nomura. Should we press F because he's out of the project? That is a question. I think it depends on how you view his take on everything. Because a lot of people blamed him for how Remake ended, but I loved how Remake ended. So I had no problems with him being on the project. That being said, Nomura is the same guy that brought you Kingdom Hearts 3 that I waited 15, 13, something like that years for, and it was garbage. So, I don't know. Maybe he just felt overwhelmed. Maybe he's got too much on his plate. Maybe he's... I don't know. Maybe he needs a vacation in Tahiti. I don't know. I just think no matter what happens, as long as they adhere to the heart of the story and the world and the characters that they built, I don't care if it's a bunch of new people that I get to know and love, as long as they keep that true foundation. I'll be fine with it. Oh, Kingdom Hearts 3 was garbage indeed. It literally was everything about a Kingdom Hearts game that you didn't want. Once again, it was like they put a shell of a Kingdom Hearts game out there, didn't progress any of the characters, and then just were like, and we're done. Made me cry. In the moment, it made me really emotional. And then after I thought about it, I was like, yeah, I didn't like that game. I just didn't like it. It was unfortunately very, very bad. And the gameplay was boring as hell. Thank you. Yes, I finished it in like 2 days, the entire thing. Just basically speed running through the whole thing. And I was just like, I waited 13 years for this. I was literally a teenager and a child when this second game came out. And I am not fed. I'm not fed, and now Sora's dead. I'm just sad. It was very frustrating. But, all that to say, we got a lot of meals. We got a lot of candy tonight and this afternoon. It looks like it's gonna be pretty interesting. Seeing young Rufus was kind of funny. There's a part in the very beginning of, I think it's the, let me see if I can find the trailer real quick for Ever Crisis. Maybe it's, oh, it's First Soldier actually. Well, let's just do this either way because we'll peruse both really briefly. Give you a little bit of music. So it's like a chibi game, right? Oops, there we go. It's a chibi game. On your phone. And it's really cute and it takes you through all of the bullet points of the original game. So everything that I just played, I could have played on my phone. Good old Jesse. Now I'm loving the art style. These little like heads popping up is adorable. The art is like real nice to look at. It's cute. I'll give you it's cute. And they give you like not a whole lot of information. It's basically a bunch of FF7 and look, you get to fight the boss. Ooh, Scorpion, evil bad. And then you get to this bit at the end where they're like, and not just FF7, all of the shit! And then you get my boy. Complete with almost getting shot in the foot. But that's the kicker right there. Ever Crisis isn't even coming out until 2022. So who the fuck knows when Remake Part 2 is even going to be announced? They are dragging feet and ass on this one. It is an in-between. Yes. It's good. I mean, literally, I'm afraid I will be like 40 years old by the time Part 2 comes out. These people are going to die. That's something that they, like, literally, Nomura and a couple other people were talking about in interviews. Is like, they're going to die. Thank you for hosting the stream. It's an honor. The thing is, like, the creators, right, already know. The creators... Thank you so much. Bless you. You're hosting my rant. my mad FF7 rant right now. Oh, man. But the creators of this franchise literally talked about in interviews, we might be dead by the time everything's finished. Like, we are getting old. We had to consider our own mortality when thinking about the next steps for FF7. Which tells me I'm gonna be 45 by the time they get this series completed. And I'm so upset about that part. I'm just like... Ah! Anyway, so that was Ever Crisis, and it's the thing I'm more excited about than the First Soldier. But let's take a brief perusal at First Soldier, right? Because that also dropped today. Now, this is coming out in 2021. So I am excited. Give us rants or give us death. Why, thank you. Why, thank you. So, okay. Alright, here's the teaser. Here's the teaser. Now, the only thing that I personally liked about this whole thing, because I honestly am not a huge fan of what I'm seeing here, but it is what it is this beginning shot, because look at that! It's the president, and he's a baby boy. He's a homicidal baby boy. Look at the baby boy and his massive evil boy coat. So we're going to do the Top Secret Soldier project, right? Because this is a brand new concept. He's new to the presidency. He's going to get ready to get his hands dirty. And he's going to start Project Zero, which is a top secret Shinra operation. What is that top secret operation? Well, let me tell you. It's a battle royale of soldiers. And you get to decide what your soldier is. Do I care? I don't know. It looks like something that takes a lot of guts and heart out of what Zach said about soldier honor, you know? It looks like a real quick money grab all over the world of FF7. Does it look fun? Yeah. Oh, but it's Dirge all over again. Thank you. Exactly. How old is Angeal? Well, he's in his 40s at least. He's an old bean. Yep. So it's like, it's that. And I don't feel like 7 is ever meant to be one of these kinds of games. Never really a shooter, never really a first person like that. I don't like it either. I don't like it. It's cool that it'll be customizable. You can sort of create your own hero. But once again, I don't know that I love it. I don't know that it's something I would have asked for. I thought I was going to get Sephiroth's backstory. They dropped First Soldier, and I was like, oh, we're going to get some juicy details on his training and, like, his friendships and everything and, like, becoming the man that he became, right? But no. How many Zack clones will be made? Well, mine will be one of them. Don't you worry. I'm going to be like, yes, dreams and honor. I'm going to be right there with you. But yes. Yes, yes. At any rate, this is what happened today. And Yuffie's is the main thing I'm excited about. I just wish that people that had fours are going to be able to play it. It's a big bummer that they're not able to play it. I mean, like, that's a huge percentage of the fan base that's just like, well, I guess you guys have to suck it until magically everybody can afford and find a PS5. Thought you'd make Soldier OC donuts too. I don't know. I literally, okay, this is how bad it got, right? I'm doing it. I'm not doing it, but I'm participating in a D&D one-shot tomorrow, actually. And they were like, just make whatever character you want. So I made an Azamar, which is like an angel person. I made an Azamar paladin with a soldier background. And I called him Zack the Fair. I have a problem. I have a problem. I just think he's fun, okay? He's fun. Look at that shot. She's gorgeous. Look at it. She is exactly what she needed to be. She's fucking gorgeous. Yeah, they're vanilla tieflings for sure. But with wings. With wings that can smite you with the power of God. It's divine. I am interested to know more about these people. I really think Barrett's conversation details who they are. But I want to know why they won't interact with our group. Why won't they interact with Barrett and Tifa? They literally, like, in this portion coming up, walk away from them. This part here. She's like, should we go over there? And they're like, nah, they're in trouble with Shinra. I think we should keep our distance. So that's interesting. Yeah. Look at his knockoff Zack hair, too. Anyway, not that guy. The other guy. I'm just, it's a lot. Tieflings, I think, can have wings, but I've never played with one that decided on wings for some reason. They have tails. Abyssal and a racial feat. Yep. It's a good time. And you can just use a lot of attacks and you can combine magic and the power of being a badass paladin. I never have played a paladin before, though. I'm always a boring soldier because I just like being like, I'm gonna hit things. Or sometimes a cleric or bard. Because a cleric is like a nice combo of like, I'm going to do weird shit and I'm going to heal people. And then a bard is just like, I'm going to do weird shit and I'm going to make people laugh. So that's what I usually play. But I've never played a paladin before, so that's going to be interesting. I said that he's a real big sympathy crier, so I'm going to see how that goes. You thought about playing a tiefling, but they have bad player stereotypes. Yeah, but, you know, it's fine. You can make it your own. That's kind of the point. How do I like... Oh, I will let you know tomorrow when I play. I've never played it yet, so we shall see. We shall see. But yeah. Interesting. Apparently, by the way, just as an aside, this bad guy at the end of the trailer is not the antagonist of Yuffie's story. They said he's in it. But he may not be the main antagonist. He's just a nod to Dirge of Cerberus. So he's included, but there's someone else that might be included in it, which is interesting. I don't know. Anyway. Alright, well, I've taken up an hour of your time, and I have thoroughly ranted, and I have so much more to say. But I'm going to have to mull over all of this, and peruse, and think about what I think. At any rate, Yuffie gets the final blow of Sephiroth calling it. She turns him into a frog, and she's like, get wrecked. I was about to say so many other things. Get fucked! There we go. Yeah. Anyway, that's my rant. It's a lot to think about. It's a lot to think about. And the Yuffie thing comes out in June. I will definitely stream it on here, and we'll go from there and see. But any little scrap of news I get about FF7, I'm like, feed me. I don't know how many of these kinds of things I'll ever do, but sometimes I just can't keep the details in, and I just gotta scream them into the void. So there's definitely gonna be more of these periodically from time to time. But for now, I'm good. I've placated my own outrage and my own excitement, I think. And then I'm gonna go home and be like, but wait, there's more! Anyway, as an aside, just so that you guys know and to plug myself so that we can chat more, Unlikely Events is on Twitter, so we can chat on Twitter and you can see all of my rantings on there. I'm also on the thing, Instagram, and the link to that's on my main page. So if you want to follow me on Instagram to see what I do in voiceover and what I do just as a dork, feel free to do so. And I love chatting with people outside of streaming, so feel free. And then, yeah, pretty much, I think he tried using the Discord link, but nothing happened. I need to reset it up. It's gone dormant. It's my bad. But I will work on that, actually. I'm glad you said that, because I'm going to stream on Sunday, usually around 4, and we're going to start Octopath. But I'm going to redo it. I'm going to fix it, because I literally was like, I don't know, and then I just left it. So anyway, I'll fix that, and that way we can chat and do things and all of that. But I don't know yet. I have not decided who I'm picking out of the 8. So that's another thing that I have to do over the weekend, is decide which big old path I want to take here. But we shall see. Anyway, so many things to think about. My brain is like, anyway. Yep, that's all I had for tonight. Appreciate you watching. Thank you so much, as always. And statistically speaking, there's always a chance for unlikely events to take place. If you find anything about FF7, throw it at me, because I need all of the information. You have a fantastic night. Goodbye, and ta. Oh, God. You know, one of these days, I'll actually be able to hit the button in time. Night.